The energy, the enthusiasm, the optimism that has been generated by you supporting this political party is something we have not seen in British politics for decades. And I tell you something, this is only the very beginning of something that's going to be huge. Absolutely huge. Now, in the middle of December, I said to the team, right, I want to do 4 regional conferences. We want to do the East Midlands, we want to do the East, we want to do the South East and the North West. Let's get them in the diary. And we booked these venues, each of which seats 1,000 people, open to members only, and within 48 hours, every single one was full. Which means there are lots of members who couldn't get tickets to come today. And we apologise to them, but what we did last night and what we're doing right now is we are live streaming this on all of the social media platforms. Can you believe that at last night's Reform UK meeting in Leicester, over 900,000 people watched our live stream? Unbelievable. So I'm not just speaking to you guys in the room, I'm speaking to all of you at home who are watching this now. Huge numbers of you, many of whom have not yet joined Reform. But you'll see on the screen at the bottom how to do it. I urge you, come and join us. We're growing, we're booming, we're only 150 away from reaching an unbelievable 170,000 paid up members. Incredible. And it's been the most amazing few weeks. 50,000 people joined us in the last 2 weeks of the year. And a lot of our team have not had a Christmas break at all. We've been pushing on relentlessly. And I've been so overjoyed with it. It's been amazing. And yet, someone decided that they do their best to spoil it. A ranting, raving, conspiracy theorist took to social media at about 5 o'clock on Boxing Day. They put out a 5-part tweet that was intemperate, contained misspellings, and false accusations that somehow I was behaving fraudulently and that the ticker, you know the ticker that shows the live number of members? I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and check the ticker just to see how we're getting on. No, this ranting conspiracy theorist said that the ticker had been pre-programmed to go up and that our new members were fake. And the extraordinary thing is that these accusations were made by the leader of His Majesty's loyal opposition, one Kemi Badenoch. Now, it just so happens that today in this room, we are in North West Essex. We're in Kemi Badenoch's constituency right now as I speak. Now, I don't take kindly to being accused of being a fraudster. I've been called many things over the years, horrible things, and some of them true. But I am not dishonest. I never have been dishonest. I never will be dishonest. And I feel pretty offended by what she said. So the question has been, after I asked her to apologise, after we proved to mainstream media that our figures were correct, no apology has been forthcoming. So I've been deciding, what should I do about this? Sue her. To sue somebody, you have to prove actual harm. What she's done is given us a massive favour and thousands of new members. So, I've gone for a different approach, and on the 31st of this month, I'll be holding a meeting for the North West Essex members of Reform, and there's now 400 of them in this constituency. They can come along, meet me, they'll all get a free photograph, and I'll do a big group picture, which I'll send to the current MP for this seat, to show her who the fake members are. And Kemi, because you've been so rude, so unpleasant, the accusations you made against me are so wrong, I promise you, we as a party now will put time, money, resource. This will become a target seat for us at the next general election. Now, I said already we're optimistic, we're bullish, we're upbeat, but we are also realistic. We realise just how much trouble this country is in. We are in societal decline. Our communities are breaking down. Our sense of the importance of family is being deliberately devalued. Our concept of nation, what it is, what it stands for today, what our forebears did to make it what it is, has been under direct attack from the educational establishment now for many, many years. And it's why when I decided to come back into the fray in early June this year, that I said we'd base this party on family, community and country, because they're the things that matter to me, they're the things that matter to you, that's what matters to most people in our country. But a remarkable thing is happening. The millennials, you know the ones, they don't like to work. They think the state can give them a living. They talk about work-life balance, work from home. Oh, the ticker. And the ticker says 170,000. Kemi, are you watching on the live stream? Did we deliberately fiddle it so that it happened during my speech? Did it, hell? It's happening, folks, because this party is on the march. That is perfect. And yet, despite all of that, there is a younger generation coming through, Gen Z as they're known, who are turning their backs on what left-wing teachers are telling them, who are now filled with new ambition and new hope. And you know something? They too are joining our party in their thousands every single week. And that's really exciting news. But I think they called it the Grooming Gangs scandal. It's not. It's the mass rape scandal on a scale that is difficult to imagine. Already over 50 towns and cities in which this happened have been identified. And who's to say the problem isn't even more acute than that? The worst of it is that at no point in time have we been told the whole truth. Little dribbles of news have come here and there over the years. We need a full, open, national, public inquiry so that everyone in Britain knows the truth about what happened. So that everybody in Britain understands that mass open-door immigration without assimilation is a complete cultural disaster for our country, and we're the only ones with the guts to stand up and say it. But what is even more shocking, is the extent of the cover-up. The police willfully not doing their job. Social services deliberately not doing their job. Covers up by local councillors, local mayors. And yes, Jess Phillips the other week refusing a public inquiry, but, and here's the point, when Kemi Badenoch calls for a full public inquiry, has she forgotten that her own Conservative government refused that as well? And whether you look at the Grooming Gangs scandal, whether you look at the cost of living, particularly energy, that is being forced upon the people of this country by literally insane net zero policies, wherever you look at the scale of mass legal immigration into Britain, and I personally believe that a 10 million increase in the population in the last 20 years has devalued the lives of everybody in Britain, whether it's access to the health service, whether it's the availability of housing, whether it's infrastructure, and just literally trying to travel around the country on our roads. Our lives have been devalued by this population explosion. Whether it's the tax burden, and the Conservatives put up the tax burden to the highest since 1947, and under Rachel Reeves, goodness only knows, least of all her. And I must say, Lee Anderson, when he stood up in the House of Commons at PMQs and called her Rachel from accounts, I reckon Lee got it about right, don't you? And whether it's the illegal scam of 150,000 people, nearly all young, undocumented males coming into our country. And by the way, did you see today that if you're an illegal migrant in Britain, even if you've been refused asylum and you turn up at A&E, you will be seen within 15 minutes. We've engineered a situation where those that come here illegally, and some of whom who harbour thoughts that are going to be bad for our nation. In fact, I would even say what's happening in the Channel is a national security emergency and should be treated as such. And yet, they'll get housing, they'll get pocket money, they'll get 3 square meals a day and get to see a doctor within 15 minutes. Oh, and they also get free dental care. How many people here get free dental care? I bet not very many. But here's the point. All of these great problems that confront our country, it is frankly irrelevant whether we have a Labour or a Conservative government, because whatever Labour are doing now that you may object to, they're only continuing from what the Conservatives did and led us to in the last 14 years. This literally is the uni party. There is nothing to tell between them. And the only political party who genuinely believe that through leadership, through conviction, through courage, and having people with real world experience, yes, there are people in reform who've had jobs, can you believe it? We are the only people with the courage and the vision to turn this country around. And I'll tell you, I believe that in their millions, people in our great nation are waking up to that fact. Now, the main reason for booking all of these meetings early in the year was to get our relatively new party ready for the May the 1st county council elections. And this part of the world, we've got some big targets. Cambridgeshire, Essex, Suffolk, Norfolk, I could go on. These are all county elections on May the 1st in which we can do incredibly well. In fact, I believe we can even win some of them. But now I hear dark rumours that maybe the elections will be cancelled this year. Now, I find this hard to believe, as only dictators cancel elections. But then, given Keir Starmer's tendencies, it perhaps wouldn't be as surprising as all that. And it would seem that the governing Conservatives in these counties are so afraid of reform that they would love to see these elections postponed for a year or two. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. But what I do know is we're building branches. What I do know is more and more good men and women are coming forward and putting their names down to stand for us at local government level, whatever tier that may be. We will continue with these events, with these meetings, with the vetting procedures, as if the elections are going to go ahead on May the 1st this year. If they don't, I will certainly be outraged at the suspension of our democratic process. But you know what? It'll give us even more time to professionalise further. And if we have to wait a year or two longer, we'll absolutely smash them to pieces when those elections come. And for all of this, I draw great inspiration from a friend of mine, a political friend of mine. He happens to live 3,000 miles away. He's got a lovely house in Florida, you know. But I think what Trump has done, when you think what they did to him, you know, fake news, mainstream media, lawfare, all of those things, yet this very resilient, tough guy has come through it all and achieved a stunning victory in those elections in America on November the 5th. And of course, beside him, he's got Elon, who is a proper hero, who believes in free speech. And free speech doesn't mean you agree with every single word that everyone says, but it means you have a platform and the right to excuse it, which is maybe why Meta have finally got rid of Sir Nick Clegg, who did his best to damage free speech in his career there. If Elon Musk is able to cut back the size of the administrative state, he will do us in this country and us in this party the most enormous favour. The more money we take from the private sector, the more we damage enterprise, and the fewer people want to get involved in taking risk and setting up their own companies. And I'm alarmed, deeply alarmed, not just that the super rich are leaving our shores, but lots of 30-somethings have decided the business environment here is too difficult. The regulations are too great, and they're leaving for Australia, Dubai, America, Portugal, Italy. And we're putting more and more money into a public sector, which, whilst it may have many good people, gives us lower and lower productivity. The more money we put in, the less we get out. It's not working. We're being strangled as a country because we are in economic decline, and be in no doubt. And I know the biggest single factor for that is the exploding population. The more immigration goes up, the poorer individually we get in Britain. We can solve that. We can solve the immigration problem, but we have to sort out the returns we get in the National Health Service. We have to sort out what the Quangos do. We have to have the courage to take the knife to all of it. And I believe that Elon is going to set the mark. He's going to set the mark for all of us in America. I hope and pray that he does. And if he does, it'll give us absolutely the right ideas going ahead. We believe in our country. We believe in our people. We're proud of our past. We know who we are. But most important of all, we know where we need to go to get our country back to where it needs to be. You've all joined our party, and I'm grateful to you. But we need more folks. We need you to do your bit. We need you, please, join your local branch. Get engaged. Get involved. Put some leaflets out in your street. Talk to people wherever you go. Whether it's the bingo hall, the golf club, the pub. The pub. I love the pub. Although not so much this month because I'm having a rest. I'm doing dry January. Oh, God, I might get sacked as leader. I'm doing dry January, but if I get past the inauguration in Washington, that will be a miracle. But the point is, we need you out there evangelizing for us, encouraging people, making them realize if you vote reform, you will get reform. That if the silent majority speak, we can win the next general election. And we can. We're 50% up on vote share from where we were on the 4th of July. If we do the same again, we will win the next general election. So, are you ready? Are you ready to commit to helping us? Then please, when you leave here this afternoon, at the back of the room, you'll see tables for each of the counties that make up the East. Give them your name. They'll put you directly in touch with the local branch that has been set up there. If one hasn't been set up, please help us do it. And don't think that it's too difficult to stand for county council or district council or unitary authority or whatever it may be. We need men and women who believe in what they're doing, who believe in our nation, to stand up with us. So please, when you leave here, go to the relevant tables. Please sign up. Please help us. Thank you for coming along today. Thank you to the hundreds of thousands watching us on live stream. And come on, let's make 2025 the year we make Britain great again.